Man, I never know how to start these videos, but it's been a long time since I've sat in front of a camera, done a whole setup, a whole production, and it be outside of my podcast, but here I am. So in today's video, I wanted to go over a couple different topics. Obviously, you clicked on this video if you are interested in concert photography. So that will be the main subject of all my topics. I want to talk about how I got started in concert photography and how you can use my experience to get started in concert photography for yourself. I also want to talk about how I got to the point where I got to now. So about 3 years ago, I started concert photography, at least what I call my actual start with concert photography. I had the opportunity to take photographs of a band my brother was playing keys in at the time. And he wanted me to take photos of him primarily and also secondarily of the band. So at the time I had an SL2 with, some lenses that I don't even remember. I probably had like some 50 prime or something like that. I'll be the first to admit they weren't good. I'll show examples of them here, but they just weren't the quality that, I was happy with. That was my first official concert that I ever shot photos for. But I didn't really get my start into concert photography until a little bit later down the line, whenever I was involved in a student-run radio station at UT Austin called KVRX. I began to take photos of the bands that played for their Sunday night productions called Local Live, and that's how I got practice in it. And it wasn't until I shot Black Odyssey and Sam Houston that I realized, hey, this is kind of fun. And these pictures came out really nice and I like how they look, and I want to continue to do this because it seems to be something I enjoy greatly. So that happened the fall semester of my sophomore year, and when I went into the spring semester, I applied to be the photo intern and was accepted. With the photo intern position, I was able to have a little bit of credentials in a way to be able to get myself into concerts and shoot photos for them for publication. I've shot for bands as large as Bad Sons, Colony House, multiple occasions, Shaky Graves. I've shot for medium-sized bands like Carolina Rose and the Bright Light Social Hour and Holy Wave, and I've shot for small bands that aren't as well known in the Austin area. So that brings me to my next point, which is how did I get to the point where I am? Number one being connections, number two being publications, and number three, having a portfolio to be able to back up my credentials. Let's talk about the first one, connections. Every concert I've ever gone to, I've introduced myself to all of the photographers that I can, or at least the ones that are willing to talk to me. I have followed them on Instagram. Sometimes I've even gotten their number if they are willing to give it out to me. My point is that you're trying to build connections in order to build up your career, because at a certain point, the more people you know, the more likely you are to be able to get into concerts with your camera professionally, and then eventually that will build more connections, and this could turn into a paid thing. My second point, publications. In my instance, I worked for two publications. The first one being what I've already mentioned, KVRX 91.7. The second publication I worked for was Afterglow ATX, which is a student-run publication, music publication I should say, that specialized in concert photography primarily, but also did photo stories about bands and music in general. And this allowed me to, again, have credentials to be able to back up getting into concerts. I could use Afterglow and KVRX to my advantage rather than just trying to get into concerts on my own terms. And then my third point is that building your portfolio will back you up in being able to reach out on your own if you don't have the connections for a certain concert. If you don't have a publication that you're going through, then your portfolio is your next and most important thing. Having a good portfolio to back you up is important because it gives you some legit value to the eyes of the band. And having a publication, if you don't have a portfolio, is a good way to get involved with concert photography, and having connections is probably the best way to getting into concert photography if you have them. So what can you do if you are starting off with concert photography? The easiest thing I can tell you is get into a publication. This is the fastest way to grow, to learn, to get involved with concert photography. If you can find a local magazine or a music publication that is small enough and you have experience with photography, not necessarily concert photography, a lot of times these publications will allow you to take photos for them, whether it be paid or internship or whatever. It will at least get you started. As you get involved with publications, start to reach out and make connections with the bands and the photographers as you're doing concerts. So I say all this not to be condescending or over my head with what I'm doing, but in all honesty, I don't know what I'm doing in a lot of aspects. But what I will say is that I can get out and shoot a concert every single weekend, if not multiple times throughout the week, if I wanted to. But it has gotten to the point where it's like I can almost pick and choose which concerts I get to go shoot. I don't have a large following on Instagram, and that's fine. I know a lot of concert photographers have, upwards to 10,000 plus followers on Instagram, but I have 225 or something like that, which I don't really mind because the majority of those people follow me for my work and not just because they know me. To summarize my points, the biggest thing that you need to go do to start concert photography, to get into concerts, is to actually take the initiative to try to get in through publications. I am drilling it in once again that publications is the way to go when you're starting out. And if you don't have a background in photography and you're just trying to use this as a way to get into concerts, you're not going to be successful. I can tell you that. I've had countless people talk to me about how I got into the photo pit from those in the front row and how they could get in. And every time I tell them the same thing, it's a two-part answer. One, you have to know the right people to get in. And two, you have to have the right portfolio for them to let you in. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, leave a comment down below. I'm trying to get back into the creative mindset and produce videos again whenever I feel like it. But, just any sort of interaction with this video really gives me a lot of encouragement to continue producing videos for fun. And if you have any ideas, any questions, concerns, just again, comment those down below. And once again, thanks for watching.
You can put them in place.